too hard?
Don't mind me. So what's this machine here?
That's a Wilcox and Gibbs. It's the chain stitch machine.
Alright.
And there's actually a YouTube video of a woman using a hand crank version of that. She's on a tractor in America in the 10,000 acre paddock.
Yeah.
Only needs to steer the tractor around the ends.
Oh wow.
Sat nav one. So she's doing her patchwork using the hand crank machine on the tractor.
Oh gosh.
I think that is just fabulous. So I'll show you how that operates.
Yeah. So this is the foot treadle one, yeah?
Yeah, foot pedal one, yes, the treadle machine. And it's just doing a chain stitch machine. Chain stitch there. So straight, you can see that just a straight stitch there. And the chain stitch on the back.
Yeah.
And there's no bobbin on this one. No.
So it's just a single thread looping back on itself each time.
That's what it is. Fantastic.
Wow.
Lovely condition. It's just a very small amount of bobbin. You know what, I've only got a box. Yeah, box and another kit, and that's my collection. Yours is superb. Working with leather and...
lamb's wool and we'll do a larger one, you get more mileage out of it for that one. So we'll just have a look and see if the length is right.
And then we've got a seal top.
So you can sew quite thick leather on this. So what we'll do is we'll do that side out. So you sit this in here. As the needle goes, I'll just put my thumb there to hold the fabric so it gets through the first one. You see this hook will come over and pick up the thread on this side. It then goes over and it actually sews in behind that thread so it locks it in place.
So it's an early overlock.
Yeah. It's called the blanket stitch, this one.
I was about to say, that's the blanket stitch I learned as a kid.
Wayne, how old is this machine?
1900 this was built. It was back in the era when people used to go out and they'd catch a lot of their own tucker, and they not only would eat it but they'd also tan the hide and convert it into garments and bags and so forth. So it's actually called a fur sewing machine. It's also known as the cupping machine. And it's also used back in the early days. They used to make gloves with this, and the gloves used to have a very, very fine seam right around them. $8.
Love the way.
But it's really poetry in motion, isn't it? This is just incredible.
People who actually invent this,
They use these for sewing moccasins.
Oh.
That's your reverse sewing there.
Yes.
So you would normally do that twice?
Normally you would do it once, but because I'm a rank amateur, I do it twice, and that way I'll make sure that all the seams are done properly. First made sewing machines, industrial machines, it goes back to 1755. Now it goes into the Industrial Revolution, but they only used industrial machines for making bulk things like army uniforms and large garments like that. So what they did is, when they started getting into the tailors and that, tailors would not sell this machine because people wouldn't buy it because it wasn't handmade. So what they actually did was they invented this machine which was designed to make it look like it was handmade. So you have a look here, you can see the tack in the top. A couple of minutes. and underneath there is the actual chain stitch. So this here is hand-stitched straw machine. So they eventually perfected it for sewing hats. So this one here, you have a look, you've got 2 needles in there. The needle on the front is an actual needle with a hole in it. The needle at the back has got a hook in it, like a crochet hook. And the complex little thing are these 2 little arms here. One grabs the thread and brings it forward, the other one grabs the thread and takes it round. So we'll just go real slow.
Oh yeah.
Right, and that's what creates that tack on the top. And so you can see what I'm doing here. You can understand why these were used for making hats, because there's the start of a hat. Yeah, it's a lot of complexity, isn't it? A lot of trouble they went to.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, all our hats are bought from overseas now.
Well, I'm hoping there are a few other groups. We're speaking to a couple of hat makers around here, and what I'm trying to do is get it together. So I've only used this a couple of times, so I do apologise for my learner plates. But
Can you send it to my house? And it'll be original.
I'll tell you now, this machine is probably one of the rarest machines around, and you actually read what it's got on there. It doesn't have a date on it, and on there it's just put down there, not for sale or licensed for sale in America, in the United States of America. So this was only made for English and Europe. And it's got down there, you know, Wilcox and Gibbs Sewing Machine Company, New York, London, Paris, but manufactured for the purpose licensed for use, not licensed for use in the United States.
There you go. Well, come back to the end of the day, when you finish the hat, I'll buy it off you.
I'm a long way before I do a complete hat, I can promise you that.
Always right.
All right, we'll show you this one. This one here. This one goes back to 1868 was the first patent of this one. You'll notice it's an industrial machine and it's got mother of pearl in it. Mother of pearl will tell us that it is pre-1900. You've got no feed dogs underneath there, none whatsoever. The only thing that moves is this round thing here. It's like an embroidery loop. And I've got a little handle under here, which is how I turn it. So if I keep the handle pulled this way, the feed dog will walk towards me. If I turn the handle to the right, it'll then start walking to the right. Right, so now what we'll do is actually, we'll get a little piece of I'll just sew off this one so you can see. And just think, this one was actually built back in 1880. Take a bit of skill to get it working well, wouldn't it? I've been working on this for about probably 200 hours to get to this stage. But you see all this stuff here, this was done by the lady who owned these machines, Elsie Blick. When Torval and Dean came over and did their tour in 1986, Elsie Blick was the only person in the Southern Hemisphere that was allowed to actually make Torval and Dean's garments. So we believe Elsie's probably the last of the professional Australian Cornelli embroiderer, which was her terminology. So we've turned around, and now that we've acquired these machines, we vowed and declared that we would actually keep her name going and also show people the actual art of what it's all about, which is what Lost Trades here is all about. So it's really amazing, you know, just You think by 1886 they made industrial machines, and industrial machines were only ever sole purpose. They weren't made for multitasking. By 1886 they had industrial machines that sewed 68 different stitches. That gets the mind going, doesn't it? But you think back in that era, you had sails, you had all your tarps, you had tents, you had even boxes that you had things come in, they even were sewn. Footballs, everything was all sewn. So they needed a different stitch for every other different thing. So just think, 68 different stitches. I probably couldn't write down 10 or 15. Well, I couldn't now because I've studied them a bit, but it's incredible, isn't it? It's an amazing life.
Meet Jahan.
Alison.
Hello.
Left her too.
Her husband's just been over back there.
You have a look at how beautiful and smooth that operation is. So you can see on this arm here, you've got a needle. So you've got one needle going across that way. And if you have a look inside there, you'll see a second needle comes the other way. So that's inside my finger.
Oh, yes, yes.
So you can see a second needle is coming the other way. Right, so we've got one needle and another needle going that way. We've got two tensioners. So we've got two different threads. We've got feed dogs. So this actually walks itself along as it's going. What on earth would this be designed for sewing? Back in the early days, carpet, Axminster and Westminster was only 27.5 inches wide. So if you did a large room, you'd have to sew the carpet together. This is what you'd use. You'd get one end, you'd match up the pattern, you'd nail one end to the fence post, the other end to the horse cart, and you'd walk it out until it was like a tennis net. You'd peg it every yard, you'd then lock that on, and that would walk along and sew the carpet together.
Oh, awesome.
This was built in 1950. Broadloom came out in about 68, 70. So this was designed on a machine from about 1880. So that's an incredible machine. So if you think this one is good,
Wayne's louder than I am, so you might have to do the talking so you can hear me.
you have a look at this one. This is the world's first pocket-sized sewing machine. It was actually built in 1886 in a place called London. It was designed for people to take on holidays.
Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it'd clamp onto a table, and it would be if you tore your party dress on your cruise or on your train trip, you could have it fixed. This would have cost the princely sum of 10 shillings and sixpence.
It does have a tiny little walking foot in there,
I can see that. Yeah.
and underneath would have been the bobbin. So it is a lock stitch machine.
Wow, that's very cool.
It's quite amazing.
There's only 316 of these, we believe, registered in the world. We believe there are a lot more, but we really think a lot of people will see this and not know exactly what it is. So that's why we bring it with us when we come along, is hope to educate people, because we hate to see things like this. It's incredible. If you talk to Jude, she'll let you handle it. Just the weight in it.